Hello and welcome YouTube, Wrecked by Protoss here. Today I'm gonna show you another build of mine, which I want to highlight to you. This is a Bone Harvest Ritualist. As you can see here, we're using the Blood Knight set for the most part. That's like the main core of this build, and also the two-hander, the White Blood Crusher. Now, let's get started here. On to our masteries. We're using the Shaman and the Necromancer. The Necromancer being like the main class here. So we have Bone Harvest. Obviously this build is centered around Bone Harvest, so Bone Harvest is maxed out as high as we can. So this one maxed out as high as we can. We're using the Transmuter, Harvester of Death, to further increase our damage because we're using a two-hander. Note that this only works if you're using a two-hander, and also note that while this Transmuter converts 100% of the physical damage to cold damage, this doesn't really affect this build because our weapon just has flat vitality damage anyways, and the base skill doesn't have any physical damage. So the base skill only has like vitality damage, cold damage, and piercing damage, and those three are gonna be converted to vitality via the Blood Knight set. As you can see here, it says 3 times vitality damage and main hand damage is also gonna be vitality damage because of our weapon being, or like having a vitality base. And then we'll put 1 point into the Dread. We're not using those that much, we're just using it for like the increased range, some decay damage, and then some bonuses, like plus 40% vitality damage to this. But yeah, it's just a 1 pointer, because you only need the range basically. And then Soul Harvest, this one is really good. And what this does is, once you hit an enemy once, your default attacks, or like everything else, is gonna be amplified with this vitality damage and also the percentages. So the second Bone Harvest, or like the Savagery hits after our first Bone Harvest, will do more damage than before. So yeah, this is really good. Hard cap this as possible, like as high as possible as well. Then like the usual points for Necromancers, Spectral Binding here, this is maxed out. Spectral Wrath, this is maxed out. Because we're really a vitality build as well. And then Mark of Torment, as with all Necromancers, you should have this at 6 out of 10. That's just like the best value point. And I mean, since we're using like a default attack replacer, the Savagery in between, I also have 1 pointers here and here. Also because, well, I do have some skill bonuses to these, and also my medal actually gives me Frostburn damage to Bone Harvest, which gets like converted to Vitality. So yeah, that's why I'm using these two. And for exclusive, you can go with either Harbinger of Souls or Master of Death, to be honest, like both are viable. This one gives you more Vitality damage, Vitality decay, attack speed. This is probably better if your OA and DA is already good enough. But this character was kinda low in OA and DA though, so I was going for Master of Death here to like fix the problem of OA and DA being so low. Yeah, that's it for the Necromancer. Let's go over to the Shaman here. The Shaman, from the Shaman tree, we're using obviously Brute Force, but just as a 1 pointer, because we're not converting the Lightning to Vitality. So yeah, but it's still pretty good as a 1 pointer. Same thing for Upheaval, that's just a 1 pointer. This is like a weapon pool rock that doesn't work like a usual like weapon pool skill, but it like creates an AoE whenever you crit, so it's pretty handy. And yeah, but we're not gonna invest too much into this because we're not scaling or like converting the lightning or bleed damage here. And then Feral Hunger, I have 12 points in here. You can put more or like a little bit less points here, it doesn't really matter that much. Like I put this at 12 basically because I wanted to have at least at 25% chance to be used, but for that you can put like less points. I think 8 does the job as well for that. But yeah, I had some spare points and I chose to put them into Feral Hunger over other choices. Then Devouring Swarm, this is basically our vitality resistance reduction from Shaman. You soft cap this for max efficiency basically, or like for max return per point. So 16 out of 16 for 60% vitality resistance. This is an insane amount of vitality resistance to be honest, and like one of the main reasons why Shaman is so good for vitality builds is because Devouring Swarm has an insane amount of vitality resistance reduction. Onto Savagery. This is like our filler whenever we're not casting Bone Harvest. So our default attack replacer, and we're putting like 1 point here. I did hard cap this actually, and then 1 point here. The reason why I hard cap this and not only soft cap it is because again, like OA and DA is not the best on this character, so I kind of want all OA and DA I can get. So most of the time it's a little bit more efficient to leave this at 12 out of 12, but if you're in need of OA and DA, feel free to put more points, like I did here. Then obviously, because we're using a two-hander, we're putting 3 points into Might of the Bear. This gives us 8% physical resistance. Physical resistance is very, very good and very hard to get as well, so having 8% kinda for free while attacking with Savagery is very good. Then obviously Mogdrogon's Pact. This is like a skill line every shaman should take. This is like a 1 pointer here, soft cap here, soft cap here. I don't think you should ever put more points than the soft cap into Heart of the Wild. 30% HP for 10 points is already insane, and everything above that has very diminishing returns. Oak Skin is kind of the same, but Oak Skin is a little bit better to overcap if you need more Pierce resistance, Aether resistance, or Armor, or like all three of them. But also here, best for like the value is 10 out of 10, so the soft cap. Then also I'm using the Wendigo totem actually, but mostly because of Blood Pact. Like Blood Pact gives me even more vitality damage, more flat vitality damage, and amplifies my vitality damage. And the reason why this is also usable on this character is because we're like a melee character for the most part, so we're always gonna stay inside the totem, right? And also since we're a two-hander, healing, or like lifesteal, healing from lifesteal can be a little bit inconsistent because yeah, two-hander has kind of slow attack speed, right? And also we're kind of focused around Bone Harvests, so our lifesteal will be very spiky. And because of that, it's pretty good to have this like heal from Wendigo totem in between as well to like help smooth out the healing process while in combat. Yeah, that's for the Shaman tree. Also, one thing I forgot about the Necromancer is we're obviously using the Ravenous Earth and Decay skill here as well. This is just a 1 pointer here, and then this one maxed out as high as possible. This is basically just a debuff for this build, and yeah, this reduces enemy target's damage for up to 22%. So yeah, that's pretty good. And I mean, every Necromancer that doesn't have another skill that does the same, like that does the same reduction to target's enemy damage, should get either Decay or at least Ill Omen. This one reduces only physical damage, this one reduces all damage. And yeah, like same sources of this don't stack, so if you have another skill that does, for example, 25% reduced target's damage, then this one would be useless and you could retake the points from here. But this build doesn't have any skill that does that, so yeah, we're going for Decay here. That's it for the skills. Let's take a look at the devotions. So for devotions, as a vitality build, you always want to have Will of Ratosh, right? So Ratosh is kinda a must-have. This guy gives you HP, OA, vitality damage, vitality decay, HP, OA, vitality decay, percent vitality damage, Pierce and Bleed Rest, and some HP, and then this one, which is like the most important one, the Will of Ratosh proc. And it deals vitality and Aether damage, but most importantly, it has vitality resistance reduction on it. So yeah, this is a must-have for every vitality build. And the second tier 3 I went for is this one, Dying God. This one is obviously super good as well. Has OA, DA, Spirit, Chaos Resistance, Vitality percent, and this very nice proc here. which gives you a lot of crit damage, a lot of vitality damage, 10% total speed. And yeah, I mean, it does have like an active health cost per second, but that doesn't really matter because we're life stealing so much anyways. Then another very good devotion here that got recently buffed in the last patch is Raise the Dead, or like the Revenant and its active Raise the Dead. Now this one is like the first 3 nodes are like pretty decent, but kind of whatever. But then these 2 nodes here, 6% lifesteal and 6% attack speed, are insane. Also 15% multiplicative racial damage to undead. 24 vitality resistance, 10% less damage taken from undead, 3% HP. 10% chance of energy leech. So yeah, this is a very, very good devotion overall now. And also, the last node, Raise the Dead. This one will spawn skeletons whenever you like attack enemies with your bone or like whatever skill you've bound to this one. I've bound bone harvest to this one. So whenever I attack enemies with my bone harvest, I have a 68% chance on attack to spawn a skeleton. Now these skeletons deal vitality, aether damage, and they reduce the resistances of your target. This is a flat reduction, so a type B reduction, I believe, and this doesn't stack with other types of B reduction. And this will scale up to, I believe, 25. You can see it's not even maxed out yet, it's at 16 out of 20 because I spec'd over to Raise the Dead when the last patch hit. So yeah, I didn't play this character enough yet to level this up to 20. But yeah, it's gonna be even better than it is now. And yeah, I mean, this is awesome because the skeleton itself deals also vitality damage. And as you can see there, the dead scale with player damage bonuses. So this is actually a player scaled pet, which means this skeleton will deal more damage the more vitality damage my character deals as well. So that's great. We're using a two-hander, so Kraken is like obvious choice here. Then I was going for Jackal because I need like some reds anyways for like Dying God and Revenant. I chose to go with Jackal. I chose to not go with Ghoul on this build because I mean we have lifesteal from Revenant anyways, and also Bat is a very, very good devotion for vitality builds. And Bat also has some lifesteal here, 3% as you can see. And also this node here, Twin Fangs, this one is probably the best active tier 1 devotion in the game right now. This one has a 0.6 second skill recharge only. Deals main hand damage, piercing damage, and vitality damage. And it converts 45% of its damage to your health. So you're not only lifestealing from the main hand damage, like from your base lifesteal, but also the skill itself lifesteals for you as well. Make sure to put this on something that procs like very often. I ought to have this on Devouring Swarm. You could like switch these two around. You could put Devouring Swarm on Will of Ratosh and Ravenous Earth over here, because this procs even better when you use it with Ravenous Earth, and this one procs better with Ravenous Earth as well. But this one has like a longer duration. But the thing is, I mean, yeah, you can switch it around. If you switch it around, this one to RE and this one to Devouring Swarm, I had it also the other way around, and I think you have better sustain if you have this on Ravenous Earth and this on Devouring Swarm. But the way I have it right now, it's like a little bit more consistent to proc Will of Ratosh for me. So the setup is kinda more damage oriented, I would say. And the other one would be like more healing oriented. But yeah, I mean, feel free to switch it around as you like. So on to other like filler devotions. I mean, for greens, we need 10 greens for Ratosh, right? And we have that already. We have the Kraken. Oh yeah, so for greens we used Lotus, Hawk, and the Bat. Hawk is a awesome tier 1 devotion, has lots of OA, and as you probably know, or again, Like OA and DA is not the best on the character, so yeah, Hawk helps with that. And then Lotus. Lotus is a very good devotion as well. It gives you green and yellows, right? And also it has physical resistance over here on this node, which is awesome. Has some energy, some HP. The character kinda needs some energy because Bone Harvest actually needs a lot of energy to cast. So yeah, that's pretty great. And also we need 6 yellows for Ratosh, obviously, so yeah. We were in need of yellow and green, so this fits perfectly. Hawk is pretty good. So that's, and then 1 point over here that gives us 10 greens. Now we need 6 yellows, right, for Ratosh as well. So the other devotions I was going for were Panther and Watcher. Now Panther is just, well, yellow and blue, and it's like pretty offensive as well. One of the better devotions that give you blue and yellow for sure. And then we also needed 15 blue for Dying God, right? So for blue, Sailor's Guide is like so good still, it's just insane. Gives you 5 blues for like 4 points, and the points are pretty good. Also physical resistance on this one, slow resistance on this one, movement speed here. And whenever you have at least 10 blues in your devotions, you should kinda always take Watcher, because Watcher is so damn good. I mean, the first 2 nodes aren't that good, but then it goes on like Armor, Pierceness, Physique, DA, and this one like 5% DA. Just basically, this Watcher alone fixes your DA for most builds by itself. And also we need the yellow here, so it's perfect for this build actually. Then I had like 3 points left, and because I was kinda heavily invested into blue and yellows anyways, the points into Targo are like free to take, and Targo is pretty defensive as well. You have DA here, health and Aether resistance here, health and chaos resistance here. I mean, feel free to do whatever you like with these 3 points instead. But I think they're pretty valuable points here, so these are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's it for devotions. As long as you have Retosh, Dying God, and Revenant and Kraken for this build, you can kind of feel free to do whatever you like with the rest. But I think, well, I believe this is like the best setup for this character right now, at least in hardcore. Now let's check out the gear. As you probably would have guessed, we're using the Blood Knight set. So Blood Knight helm, Blood Knight chest, Blood Knight shoulders, and Blood Knight amulet or pendant. I mean, the reason we're using that is because of the Bone Harvest focus this character has, and we're converting Pierce to Vitality to Bone Harvest on the helm, and then also cold damage to Vitality damage on the 4 piece set bonus. And we also get a nice little pet from that one. This guy over here. Let's spawn him. This is also a player scaled pet. It's like small, like the big body of this guy actually. This guy also has an aura, which has 15% vitality and bleed resistance reduction around him. So that's also more resistance reduction for us having him around. Then, yeah, the two-hander is the Wild Blood Crusher. This is basically the best two-handed vitality weapon currently, especially when you're going Shaman. So yeah, this has +2 all skills to Shaman, some bonuses to Devouring Swarm, some bonuses to Grasping Ones, but we're not using Grasping Ones, so that's like kind of whatever for us. But it also has insane attack speed, insane casting speed, and also, I believe, one of, if not the highest flat vitality damage value on the weapon itself. So yeah, that's great for Bone Harvest because Bone Harvest has a lot of weapon damage. So we have we're at 95% weapon damage here, amplified by 20%, and also before that added 30% main hand damage, and then this set adds 60% main hand damage as well. So we have like 385% main hand damage, amplified by 20%, so like times 1.2, right? So yeah, weapon damage is kind of important, and you want to have a two-hander that has a huge amount of vitality damage because of that. Now onto the rings. This one is kind of, well, pretty obvious choice, Signet of the Fallen, because of its proc. Mark of the Fallen, 20% chance on critical attack, and it has minus 15% vitality resistance reduction. Now for the second ring, you could also go for, instead of the Scholar's ring, which I have here, which is kind of insane, it's a Dreadlords of Readiness. Dreadlords gives me like vitality damage, lifesteal, and Readiness gives me OA and DA. Instead of this one, you can also go for the Mythical Curse Bearer. Mythical Curse Bearer is also pretty good because it has a proc similar to this one. So you have double resistance reduction procs from your rings then. That's very good. The gloves, Gauze Reach. You can go either for these or for the Ice-Scorn talons, but Gauze Reach on average gives you better CDR for your Bone Harvest, and also more range for Bone Harvest, and also more lifesteal for Bone Harvest. It's pretty good. The skill though, like the spiders that it can spawn, that's pretty useless because the Web Weavers do scale with pet bonuses, so if you're not scaling that, they're pretty useless. They're just there and, well, they're not doing anything really. Boots, Greaves of Ill Omens. I was using these to get +2 to Bone Harvest and also for the stun reduction. If you don't like them, feel free to use other boots. They are not necessarily the best boots in the game, but they fit this build very nicely. And yeah, they're also pretty great if you need stun resistance. So yeah, I believe they are almost a perfect fit here, maybe even the perfect fit actually. Metal, the Dread Chill Mark. This one gives me more Frostburn damage to Bone Harvest and more lifesteal to Bone Harvest. And remember, since we're like converting 100% cold to vitality here, this Frostburn damage will also be converted to vitality. And also it has like some bonuses to Necrotic Edge, also more weapon damage. So this is also the metal, or like the reason why we are one-pointing Necrotic Edge here. The belt, Avenger's Girdle, just a very solid Shaman belt for two-handers. We're not using the percent damage multipliers here, but we get Pierce resistance, Bleeding resistance, some HP regeneration, max bleed res, and then also the two-hander bonus, the HP, 40 OA, and Aether and Chaos resistance. That's pretty good. That's good. Yeah, there are no better options, I would say, here. For the relic, Serenity Relic, this is like a, well, pretty defensive choice overall. That's like a solid relic for any build, basically. But feel free to use some other relics here, maybe like Ouroborog's Reapening, for example, if you want a more offensive choice. And then, well, I mean, I'm using a Stonehide Kubacabras here. I kind of wish I didn't have to. And I mean, you don't really have to be honest. You can like tweak around the build without these, but they just fit very nicely here. But as you can see, like I'm getting Pierce, Poison, Bleeding resistance from this one, right? 66, 38, and 39. The Bleeding I don't really need. The Pierce is good for overcap, but for like capping it out to 80%, you don't need it either. And the Bleed you kinda need it, but you can fix, I mean the Poison you need, but you can fix the Poison like with another pair of pants that give you poison resistance, or you maybe switch around your augments a bit, you switch around your components a bit, and then it should be fine. Also for components, you're using like triple Sacred Plating / Living Armor here for these three. These are there to max out our armor absorption while also providing us good resistances like Vitality, Aether, Chaos, and Elemental. Mostly to also like overcap these. And yeah, Seal of Annihilation for the amulet, as almost every build. Bloodied Crystals for the rings. I mean, we don't really need the bleeding resistance, but they're still pretty decent for also percent armor. But you can use other stuff here. Feel free to use Runebound to pass, for example, if you don't need the armor. Or some other stuff, maybe, I don't know. A Tainted Heart for the metal. Tainted Heart is if you don't need the energy from the energy leech from Arcane Spark. I would say Tainted Heart is the best component for the metal slot. Gives you crit damage, OA, vitality, and aether resistance. Pretty insane. Then we're using Agdenborg leathers on the gloves and the boots. For obviously poison resistance mostly. You don't really need it for the bleed, but pretty good. Also it gives you 30 DA, that's actually not bad. And then we are using one Spell Scorch plating here on the belt. So whenever you're using a Spell Scorch plating, or like any component that gives you flat armor like this one, make sure to put it in your belt if you can. So you could like switch around this and have leather here and belt the Spell Scorch plating over here, right? But that will be worse because if you apply armor to your belt, the armor applied to your belt will be 6 times as effective compared to armor that you put into any other gear slot. Because belt armor is basically global armor, it will be added to all your other armor pieces, whereas armor components on your like these 6 slots will be only local for that one slot. So yeah, that's why you should always put armor components into your belt and not into your other stuff, like if you can. So yeah, like the 30 armor here is, as I said, like 6 times as effective as it would be on any other piece of gear here. Then we have an ancient armor plate here for the boots. This is to like round out our armor absorption, to increase armor, give us some physique, and some flat armor for the pants only. I mean, it's just a solid component overall, I would say. Whenever you don't need the hand slot for, say, a leather or a scaled hide. Yeah. And then the last component I want to talk about is the Seal of Resonance here in the two-hander. Now, I don't really like this that much, but I was kind of forced to take it because otherwise my stun resistance would be even worse. And look at these stats, like they're pretty bad. Like the CC resistance for this character is actually not very good. It's pretty bad. You can, like if you can increase your CC resistance, maybe with your pants here in a better way, or with a ring maybe, feel free to use another component here, like either a Haunted Steel or a Steel of Blades. I can recommend those two for sure as well. They're like Haunted Steel is actually insane for vitality bolts and two-handers. Yeah. So okay, I also wanted to show you some like all the pets that this build spawns, right? Because of the Blood Knight set. The 4-piece bonus also, I don't know, yeah, the Blood Knight set, like the 4-piece bonus spawns me this guy, right? And he's a permanent guy. And then the pendant, this one spawns temporary blood-bathed servants. As you can see, like 20% chance on attack, I will spawn a skeleton here. And I can spawn up to 4 guys here. And they will help me with my damage, deal some vitality damage here, some bleeding damage. So yeah, these guys spawn, and then also the skeletons from over here spawn. And you can have up to 6 here, maybe even more if I level this more up, like higher up. So these are 6 guys here, 4 guys here, and this guy. So we have 11 player scaled pets actually right now. Maybe you can get up to 12, I don't exactly know. But yeah, so if I use the Bone Harvest here, you can see these are from the Devotions, right? These guys here. And then this guy here, the one using the Crimson Spike here in his hand, he's from the Amulet. Yeah, let's spawn some more guys here. Oh yeah, the spiders, they're, as I said, like they're useless, but they're also pretty cool. So yeah, you have like an army of of player scaled pets here actually that can like attack for you. I mean, they don't deal a lot of damage, but it helps you with your DPS actually, and also like when you're kiting around, or like if you have to kite around against some enemies, it can be pretty helpful. Anyways, let's do like a small bloom run here to show this character off. I kinda wish I am gonna meet Kubacabra here. Oh yeah, the last thing I didn't talk about, the movement ability here, the Rune of the Dark Progenitor that I'm using here. Actually using a leap here. I don't necessarily think leaps are the best. They're probably one of the worst abilities or like movement abilities in the game. But this one also reduces target's OA and DA by 100. That's pretty good because we don't have a source of flat OA reduction and also no source of flat DA reduction actually. So this one fits both roles, and it also fits two roles as well. Like you can use this offensively or defensively, and since you're in Ritualist, you don't have any like mobility skill from your class or like, from your master race, right? So you're kind of forced to only have one. So you're like, yeah, you can only have one mobility augment, right? So you can only have one mobility spell as a Ritualist. You could, like, if you want to be more safe, I guess, you should go for like a teleport. But I think this one is fine. You can use this offensively and defensively as well. And as I said, like you get the OA and DA reduction on top of all of it. That's pretty good. We got a Bargoll here. You can probably see the damage spikes whenever I'm casting Bone Harvest, because I mean that's the main damage after all of this character. And also, since we're using Bone Harvest that often, you kinda have to use Energy Pot every now and then. But you would never run out of energy as long as you have enough pots. And I mean, they drop left and right when they're playing in the end game, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's see if we can meet Kubacabra here. Alright, so after searching Kuba and like the whole of Gargabol, we finally found him over here. And I'm gonna show you the Kuba fight here. It should be pretty doable on this character for sure. But yeah, we should make sure to respawn our spirit here. I don't know when he died, but died apparently. I mean, let's go here. Kuba, our favorite Yeti, come over here. Let's put him over here and fight him here. That's probably better here. We have a nice little arena here. So make sure to like sidestep his pools every now and then if you can. Other than that, you can basically face tank this guy. At least on this character. Make sure to also don't forget your energy. It's fine to use a energy pot here. There we go. That's how you kill Kuba on this character. Alright, I'm gonna show you a Ancient Grove run here as well on this guy. Right, so the Ancient Grove has like 4 important things, right? That you have to do. You have to do the Trials of Corruption here. You have to kill the red crab, the green crab, and the Death Stalker, the cool cat. I also check always out this when they're over here. Guy has like battle shells, frozen hearts if he has any. Check out the blueprints if you have them or not. And also check out these marks, like these models, these rings. They can be pretty good potentially. If you like at red rods, you can get decent FXs here as well. So depending on the build you're doing or like you're planning to do, this guy can have some nice little items. Alright, you got the kitty here. Yeah. Now another boss I forgot to tell you about before is this guy. Slathzar Aether Gaze. He can be pretty annoying with his fumble for two-handers, but he cannot fumble my Bone Harvest, so that's like really good for me. There we go. A lot smoother on this guy compared to like other two-handers for sure. The green crab always spawns in this area, so if you go around that boy first, make sure to go back here if you want to kill the green crab. The red crab is gonna spawn around this area usually. Hey, where are you running? What the hell? Come back here, crabby. Like sometimes these crabs are so afraid. Actually pretty funny. Go. Red crab down. Now if this is your first time in the Ancient Grove, you should check out this area here as well. There's a path going through here, or also I think over here or here. And I believe it's over here. And you will find some one-shot chests in that area, so make sure to check them out. But after the first time it's not really worth it to go there, so I'm gonna skip it. On to the final boss of Ancient Grove, Gargabol. Right, so second phase, make sure to absolutely dodge his volcanoes. Also you mark this Mark of Torment for the second phase here. But when he does this animation here, he's gonna spawn the volcanoes, so make sure to jump out at the exact right time then. Then after that you can go back in and kill him. But yeah, you don't want to stand under those volcanoes, otherwise you will just get one shot. Or like, not one shot, but shotgunned, and the shotgun is probably gonna one-shot you. Alright, now let me also show you the Lokarr Dungeon and the Lokarr fight itself. So for the Lokarr Dungeon, on a character that doesn't have like maxed out freeze resistance, I recommend you to use a Hoarfrost ointment here, just to be better prepared against those traps that you can fight here. Oh, that... well, I mean, you can't really fight them, but they're just annoying, right? Wait, what? Oh, there's one. Also make sure to always kill these with plain adherence here. Because I mean, you probably know they drop the Dark One set, like pieces of the Dark One set. There are a total of 4 guys in here, and everyone, like, each one of them can drop like one specific part of the set. So if you want to farm the set, make sure to kill all of them. I'm only gonna kill like 2 or 3 here, and they're like on the way. I'm gonna kill this one as well here. Alright, let's go over to Lokarr here. Now Lokarr in this character feels very spiky as well. But if you... I mean, if you're like kinda lucky with his weapon, and if you just keep on attacking him, it should be pretty easy for you. But yeah, the standard safety measures for Lokarr fight would be, because our OA in the is kinda bad, I mean, 28, 80 with savagery up. We're gonna pop the Royal Jealous here, as always, against Lokarr. Then also because fire resistance isn't like the best ever, I'm gonna pop one fire, like Flame Drinker Ointment here as well. And let's drop, like, let's proc the Elixir of Gargabol as well here. Now, the only weakness of this build against Lokarr is like the low stun resistance, or like the not capped out stun resistance. So whenever you're stunned, you have to make sure to either have a pot ready or a crystal ready, or like try to use Mark of Torment before he can like stun you. That's kind of hard to see, right? Other than that, the fight is pretty fast and easy. That's gonna be it for me for this build highlight for the Ritualist, the two-handed Bone Harvest Ritualist. Thank you very much again for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to. I mean, any kind of feedback is appreciated. Also, feel free to check out my other videos, or like my other build guides, or like build highlights. Check out also my other videos about this character. And check out my Twitch if you want to. I mean, feel free to check me out when I'm streaming. I'm streaming every Monday, Wednesday, like a third day of the week, which always will be announced in my Discord. So also feel free to join my Discord if you want to. The link will be also down below. And yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching, and see you guys next time.